Hey everybody, welcome in. We're doing a new video series called Pass the Hype 1 Year Swipe, where we tell you if you're swiping left or right on that game and if it's something to keep around. We play a lot of pre-alpha, pre-beta games here on the channel, and now we are revisiting them just about anywhere from 8 months to 1 year out to see where the development progress has gone. We have games all sorts that we've played that have had lots of updates, no updates, minimal updates, and we've had mixed results amongst a lot of those. So we're getting into direct contact here tonight, and let me tell you, it's gotten 64 updates, and it's not looking too good. Well, let's take a look at some of the footage here. We have, we're going to break this down to current gameplay, past gameplay, and then of course some of the good and some of the bad. And we will give you our final decision at the end of this video. Stick around, and we'll give you a nice little showcase of what Direct Contact has to offer for you.
Direct Contact is not just a game, it's a state-of-the-art simulation.
And here we are just about a year later with Direct Contact. Me and Kyle both played a decent amount of Direct Contact here. Say hello, Kyle. We both have put in our hours with this game, whether we've streamed it, made videos on it, or even off stream. So I think we'll just kind of jump into some of the pros. We saw some clips there of some really good stuff about the game. I know the game, for me at least, the graphics is what drew me in. We had some really innovative stuff right off the bat. I remember it was really kind of pushing my PC back when this game first launched, and everything looked really good. There was really good attention to detail on the maps that were included with the game at launch. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I remember really liking the attention to detail on just the guns. I loved how they had the AUG in there off the bat. That's one of my favorite guns.
Yeah, 100%. They had some really good high quality guns in there. I mean, obviously they're still in there, but and then they had the photorealistic airstrikes. It was really like being able to pull up a monocular or a rangefinder and actually call that in as a JTAC operator. It's a really cool aspect of this game. And then it also did have the healing system. So it's very similar to like kind of like almost Tarkov-y, but not really. And you would actually have like different bleeds that you would have to kind of worry about so that you wouldn't bleed out in the field. But I don't know, since the update, we've had a few things added.
What's that?
We got tutorials that were added into the game. I know first time booting it up, we had no idea what we were doing. So that's definitely going in the pros section for the game. They got tutorials now. They also got map-based missions.
Yeah, I remember how hard it was building guns, figuring out keybinds.
Exactly.
Night vision was great, but man, did it take a little while for us to even figure out how to put the right attachments on.
Yes.
Get the right night vision.
So you're leading me right into our con section here, so we'll just hop right into it. This game's got 60 plus updates. It seems like a lot of those updates have been maps. We have 3 new maps included, but unfortunately the core state of the game is just not improved. Like you were just talking about, Kyle, the UI. The UI is so confusing. The class system is like, if you don't have the wrong class, there's like this tiny little text that pops up and says, you cannot equip this. And you're like, why can't I equip it? And why can I select it if I'm this class? So it's just, it feels like you need a degree. You know, you're just kind of like, I just want my gun. Like, let me get my gun and go out and deploy while we're sitting here kind of, you know, having issues. And I know you've had a lot of issues with the game, whether it's UI or even just the kit loadouts, Kyle.
Yeah, it feels like they updated the look of the UI, but the core game feels exactly the same, just with the constant, you know, can't reload my gun, can't shoot my gun, can't pull out my pistol. It's just like that happens every map.
Yeah, I think we even have a clip in there of our replay here that was the most recent, and my gun disappeared while I was trying to equip some stuff. We've had duplicate scopes as well. You can overlap scopes and it'll just completely break your gun. Like, it shouldn't even be an option to layer those two that close together. we've played other games that will just delete the other piece that you're trying to put on there, or not even let you save the weapon. So it's unfortunate to see that it hasn't happened. So I think
the scope on a scope, silencer on a silencer type issue.
Exactly, and you can't see it because they're inside of one another. So you're just kind of sitting there scratching your head trying to, debug the game. But I think the core issue of the game here, at least the big break for me, is we're sitting 8-9 months later, and the AI is the same. We get pegged. Yep. We get pegged from 800 yards, or not 800 yards. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but still, like 300 yards. You're coming over, a ridge, and you're getting hit with a guy with an AK with no scope on it, and you're instantly thrown into an issue of, okay, now I'm healing myself, and you're trying to move up, and they're all just closing in on you. So there's no aspect of stealth in this game. I know we've tried to stealth stuff before at night, and it's the same thing. It's just they got bot vision.
Yeah. While on Maryland, you got the complete opposite. You can walk right up to them practically,
yeah, exactly,
tapping on their shoulder, and they won't even do anything.
Exactly. So it seems like you get hit by them, but once you're close, they have no aim, and it seems like bullets will not kill you. It's the bleeding out.
Goes straight through you.
It's the bleeding out from the bullets, and it seems like the bleed out is set at you only can bleed out so fast. So you can see in that clip there, I should have been riddled full of bullets. I should have gotten a headshotted at some point and just been insta-dead, and that did not happen. So to say it's a state-of-the-art simulation is a long stretch. But onto some more stuff here. We have had some controversial maps with some, I'm probably not going to say the exact things, but leader rally attempts is what I'll say to that one. That was one that came out literally, I think it was 2 days after it happened, as well as we've had some new Middle East problems, and there have been maps based around those. So a little too soon, kind of fresh in the wound, I feel like, on those. Trying to be cutting edge to pull in some people to check it out. But when we went into the one that was about the president, I mean, what were your thoughts on that?
I think they were going for the exactly what you said, the controversial, like, look at the map we have, but you go onto it and you realize how absolutely broken it is.
It was like the shock,
how do you make
shock
a map
factor.
How do you make a map out of just one shooter? Well, you'll see that it's just one shooter. You just walk up to him. It's 1 or 2, and that's it.
And you had fun with that clip at the beginning, but you literally have to listen to this guy talk about how great the game is through the entirety of playing that map. So it's just kind of like a joke. It's kind of like a kick, like a low blow kick. I don't think it's what any of these pre-backers, current players were looking for in a map. So I think last thing to kind of wrap up the con section here that I wanted to touch on was probably some of the community drama. They've had a very strict Discord. I won't be surprised if I get completely banned out of there after this video goes live. But we had some drama go down when the game first came out. People were kind of throwing their hands up, going like, the game's kind of broken. We're having these issues with this game. And they were just instantly banning, kicking people. And it's just not what you want to see from a dev and their community. And it just kind of goes to show how much they're listening to the community, and I think it shows. I think it shows after 8 months, 9 months of 60 plus updates. We're still having the same issues that we had day one that the community wanted fixed, and it hasn't been touched on. It seems like
I remember he was blaming people for having bad PCs, saying the reason you're getting low FPS is because your PC's not up to spec. But you go into the game, try to change the graphics, well, you can't, because it locks you. For the first couple months there, it was just you were locked to a certain setting and you couldn't change.
Yeah, it was pretty much you're locked to high or very high. And, you know, obviously some people's PCs can't handle that, but when you have a minimum spec recommendation on there that doesn't match up with how your game's performing, it's not what you really want to see. So it feels like the devs more focused on maps right now, not core gameplay and fixing the UI. I felt hopeful when we booted it up. We saw those added tutorials, added map-based missions, but man, the med screen's the same. There's no economy when it comes to the healing system. Like, you have to buy these things with money, but you just randomly get, you know, your frontline checks coming in when you're deployed out, which is just kind of weird. And it's like $20. Cool. Thanks. So I don't know about
I feel like this game's best compared to like a nice house on a bad beach, you know, that it's a really nice house that's just hanging on there. You can see the cliff just falling away. It's not supported by anything. It looks nice on the outside, but when you actually
get to know it
and realize how,
once you get to know it, you're just like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I can think of so many other shooters I'd rather be out there playing. So, you know, I think my final answer on this one is swiping left on it and giving it a big old fat rejection on that. Don't think we'll be back playing direct contact unless there are some major changes, but that's not going to be for a long time, I can tell.
Couldn't agree with you more on that one. Big swipe left.
Yeah.
We pretty much uninstalled it. And
yep.
We're good.
As always, you know, I keep a very open mind when it comes to any of these pre-alpha, pre-beta games that we do play. They all launch in some crazy different state. We're in a whole different game economy now. So games can launch half done, games can launch very completed. And we've seen a full spectrum of that, even just on the FPS shooter range. And then there's some games that have been in beta for a very long time, but at least they're constantly improving update to update. But you guys let me know if you like this. We're going to be reviewing many more games in the future here. As you know, we have always been pretty much a variety channel here. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about this series. So we got a lot more games that we can touch on. We have a lot of games that we've played in the past that are coming up on that 1 year mark. And I figure we just kind of put our stamp of approval or rejection on it and kind of, you know, whether we continue to play it on the channel or if we just kind of walk away from it. And I definitely can say we're walking away from this one. Game came out February 29th, 2024, developed by Mountain 81. Studio has rebranded already once. This has been out for about 8 months. It was an early access game. I was fully backing and behind it. It had in-game radio communication. We had air support. Detailed battlegrounds. I will say the maps are very gorgeous. You can arrest enemies, weapons, goals, and everything along those lines. But unfortunately, the game has not done too well. We have ourselves a lot of negative reviews. Like a lot. Kind of kick into some of the most recent reviews on this one, but this is absolutely massive. Unfortunately, I think a little redirect on what the dev is doing here. If you take a look, we do have massive updates. The game was getting updates pretty much every other day, still does. We're about on 64 total updates. I counted each individual one of these. Everything from saying that there's AI reworks to UI changes and stuff like that. Unfortunately, biggest updates we've seen come out of Direct Contact is adding more maps.